Hi you guys, today I'm going to show you how to make these homemade gluten-free Thin Mint cookies, just like the Girl Scout Cookie Originals. They are absolutely perfect. Let's get started. In a small bowl, I'm adding baking powder and salt to my gluten-free all-purpose flour blend. That is my recipe, which is always linked in the description box below. And I'm going to add cocoa powder to this. You can also try a store-bought gluten-free blend. I just haven't tried it, so I can't tell you exactly if it will work, but I see no reason why it won't. So we'll just whisk these together to combine. And this is my second Girl Scout cookie I've made in the past month. The first one was the peanut butter patties, or also called tag-alongs. And I don't have a video for that, but if you want to check out my website, you'll find the recipe right away. So in a larger bowl, we're going to add our butter and cream that until it's nice and light and fluffy. And then to that, we're going to add powdered sugar. And we'll cream those two together again until nice and fluffy. And then we add 1 egg white, and this is going to look a little bit curdled when we add it, but just keep going with it. It'll eventually even out when we add all the dry ingredients. Now I'm adding a 1/4 teaspoon of peppermint oil. And I'll leave a link for that. The link is in the recipe, but I'll also leave a link below the video. And vanilla, of course. And I never measure my vanilla. I just add, it's about 1 teaspoon, but if it's a little more, doesn't hurt anybody. So now I'll add the dry ingredients and then blend that together. This is a really soft dough, so it's definitely going to need to be chilled first before we roll it out. Now you can roll it out between 2 sheets of parchment or 2 silicone mats if you'd rather. I have no problem rolling it on a little extra flour, bench flour, but do what you feel comfortable doing. But this does need to go in the fridge for at least 2 hours. Mine was in the fridge overnight, so that's why it's cracking, because it's extra cold. But if yours is in there for quite a while, just let it come more to room temperature before you start rolling it out. Give it a good 10 to 15 minutes. But we want to roll this super thin to about 1/8 of an inch thick. I mean, these are called gluten-free Thin Mint cookies, not thick mint cookies. And they will puff up nicely. They won't spread too much. They're just perfect. And then we get them on the baking sheet and get them in the oven at 350 for about 8 to 10 minutes. And the way you'll tell if they're done is if you press lightly on them and they'll feel firm to the touch. Now, moving on to the chocolate, I added chopped cocoa butter to mine. You can also use vegetable oil, coconut oil, any neutral oil. And I'm adding peppermint extract, 1 drop to the chocolate. If you add any more than 1 drop, you might get an overly minty, almost like toothpaste like taste to it. So just be careful because it is so strong. And once this is fully melted, I'm going to transfer mine to a smaller bowl so it'll be deep enough to dip the cookies. And by the way, you'll find all of the ingredient amounts and everything in the description box, or in the recipe link, which is in the description box below. And in the recipe, you will find all these alternatives that I talked about. Instead of adding the cocoa butter, adding the vegetable oil or coconut oil or whatever. So I'm going to dip the cookies with my dipping fork. You can also use a regular old dinner fork if you don't have a dipping fork. These are pretty cheap though. I'll leave a link below. and then just slide it off the dipping fork onto your parchment and just dip away. Tap off the excess first. And just to give you a closer look at how to get it off the fork, touch the front side of the cookie, not the dipping fork, to the parchment paper, and then just slide the cookie right off gently. That'll give you a nice clean cookie without excess chocolate. And that's it, you guys. Gluten-free Thin Mint cookies. These will give any Girl Scout a run for her money. Enjoy!